I'm not sure of how much like Disney does this, or but I think of um you watch all the Fast and Furious movies, at least the first three, right?
Hmm.
We're gonna change it up a little bit, talk about other franchisees here, but it's relevant in terms of like you had the first director, uh, Justin Lin, I believe is his name, and then they changed directors, and they go to Too Fast and Furious. I think he did the first two, and then he went to Tokyo Drift.
Right.
Whole different script, whole different layout, also a different concept, right? Because it's drifting, not really driving in two lanes.
Right. Right.
And then they go back to Fast Furious 4, and it's back to the same director, it's back to the same elements that we were used to.
Yeah.
So it's like those differences. It's also like I'm sure you can speak more to this than I can. It's just like creativity lens and how much you have control over, um, which can go back to the bad writing, but at the same time, I just think that I wish they would focus more about what the fans want, because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like that's who you are making the movies for at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Go for it.
No, I mean, when you look at it, you were talking about the Mandalorian earlier. That's the reason why they brought Boba Fett back. He was a popular character in the universe, and now he's gonna get his own spin-off.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Baby Yoda. A lot of people don't know as Grogu, but people are like, yeah, I know Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
never watched a Star Wars movie in my life, but I like Baby Yoda.
yeah.
That's what I heard. Um, and that's how I felt also about Black Widow is that it was a money grab.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the formula that the industry is kind of putting itself forward. That they go back to what works every time. That's why we see sequels. That's why we see prequels, and I do like the idea, or not the idea, but I do like what you said about bringing in different directors for a series because it's different
Yeah.
creativity levels. But without one person on TV, that is, they have someone called like the showrunner, where
Hmm. Hmm.
they have the overarching story. So as long as the directors they bring in for each episode you know makes the adjustment to follow that story arc, they could direct that episode however they want. Uh, I think that's also why the Mandalorian did really well. It's you had all these different art styles and directing styles. Go back and watch it when you get a chance.
I will. I will.
But
Yeah.
someone there's I forgot I can't remember. It's that dude who made Chef, Jean Favreau. I think he's the one that had the main story arc. He directed the first episode, and then the rest of the episodes he brought in different directors to come in and share their vision and direction.
Hmm.
But he made sure that their story uh, stayed on track, and as a whole, that thing was the first two seasons really good. I liked it.
Yeah, the direction, all most of them were written by John Favreau, but every single episode had a different director
Yeah.
for the most
So
part.
when you go back and watch it, just look at the way the camera acts, and look at the
Hmm.
way people interact with the camera and the objects around them. It's just you'll start to notice different styles, and you're like, oh shit, okay, that definitely doesn't look like what John Favreau would be doing.
Hmm.
Mm.
Not their style. No, I agree 1,000%, and I see this in other shows. I think quarantine had a lot of Netflix and a lot of Hulu and a lot of different things that I got to watch.
I feel it.
And one of the shows that I watched a lot that just started coming up again was Mayans. It was a spinoff of Sons of Anarchy.
Mm.
And one particular scene, a lot of it is like character development, looking at their facial expressions, violence, a lot of moving around in cars and things like that. A lot of what we're used to in a lot of different movies.
Yeah.
But there was a one big difference that they put in one episode where it was the main character getting into a fight with a rival like gang member or a rival. It was just a rival. I don't know if it was a gang member or not, but it cut from third person to first person, and it was in the back of a truck. So the shot started from the back of the truck, and you got to see the character uh, see, oh shit, there's someone in front of me, and then it jumped into inside the truck in the cab, and you saw the main character, and his girlfriend like interacting with this. You see shots fired, you see them go through the window, and then you see him run out, come back inside the car, take off, put it in reverse, and like do everything in this kind of perspective. And it forces you to really imagine like if you were there, because you don't see around anymore. You just see what's in front of you, and that's the same thing you would if you would have been in person.
Yeah.
So that whole change of plot versus like it was always like third person, always like oh, it's from the side, or you would see this. Changing it to that made it more important of why that scene was important for the whole story.
Right.
And so I totally understand that because you see it in so many movies, and that was just one that I was so like. Part of it is also because like not a lot of people that I know have watched that show because they're like, oh, it's too slow, it's not the same, it's Sons of Anarchy, it's a sequel, you know. So people, you know how those goes with people feeling that type of way about them. Um, and so whenever I kind of I bring it up, but just so clever like how that whole happened. But then also again, I mean, it's the guys that made Sons of Anarchy, Kurt Sutter, so
Yeah.
dude's a
Yeah.
freaking genius.